Okay, you're listening to Jenny Kirby, the owner of Crossroads Art Center, and we are out at Clinton Helms's studio out in the country, Goochland County. It was a beautiful drive out here, and that is exactly what I needed this morning. So thank you, Clinton, for making us get out here in the country and get some fresh air and just be out of the city. It's nice. It's wonderful. So this is kicking off our start of interviewing different artists in their spaces so we can actually see what they do, how they do it, and how they create. So we're gonna look at a lot of different things because Clinton just doesn't paint, he does a lot of things. So it's not going to be me running my mouth except to ask the questions, and we're going to turn it over to Clinton. So we'll swing around. So Clinton, how long have you been an artist?
Well, first of all, good morning everyone, and welcome to my studio. Jenny, I've been an artist since probably childhood, age 7. If my mother was alive and could say it, she would probably say I was an artist in the womb.
I love that. So you have been out in this space for how many years now?
I have been in this space for 15 years, and it's by the grace of God, I think God put me out here in Goochland in the country to make art. As you know, I've been doing this for a while. I had workshops at your gallery, and I started teaching at VCU during that time. I've been with them for about 19 years. Getting away to be able to work out here and freelance and make art and teach students is it's a gift. It's a gift from God. And I feel good about it. I'm glad I can share my space with you and the audience as to what I do.
Well, thank you. Thanks for inviting us out. And I want to just touch on a few things. When you're talking about VCU, what have you seen with the kids change that are coming to you over the years? Because I think that's interesting to people.
Well, it's fascinating. I see talent, but I feel like the talent is slipping in some ways, for as what they're bringing in, as their skills and their desire to want a life of art. It's not an easy thing. No. It's not an easy thing. I can only hope that the school and VCU will continue to grow as it is, and we'll see what happens.
Well, I think that's it. You as a teacher, as a professor, you can only do what you can do. It also has to come from the students as well, that urge to create and to prosper as an artist.
That is correct.
True.
And that's what I try to instill in them every day. You know, I can teach you, I can show you what I do, my successes, my downfalls, but it's going to be, in the end, it's you. It's you that makes that decision. And I let them know they are the future for the art world. So the research that they have to do is very important, and I'm there for their support, but I can only do so much.
It's true. It's true. So your studio, you're not only a painter, you are also a sculptor. And when did you start some of these projects?
Oh, wow, that goes back. I think you remember it was about maybe 10 years ago I did a piece that was in Crossroads. And actually it was a Buffalo Soldier, this piece here. But I was never satisfied with it, and I wound up redoing it just this past summer, back in May. When the school let out in May, I had projects that I was working on, but my students got me into clay again, and it was an awakening that is really hard to describe. But it started with me redoing that, the Buffalo Soldier piece, and the piece that set the whole process off was this painting here. I gave my students an assignment to do when I say students, I teach a Karl Marx class. It's a communication art figure drawing. We do figure drawing, so I'm teaching them the process of drawing the model, understanding the anatomy, the bone structure, muscle, the whole thing. And this was an old fantasy piece. I took it in to show them the process. Granted, this piece was done as an advertisement piece in 1999 when I graduated. It was going into my portfolio, but I was never happy with it, so it never got finished. Make a long story short, I gave the assignment, took this in as a demo, and when the semester ended, I had this clay, so lo and behold, I started playing around. And I made my wings out of cardboard, and this clay is never dries. You know, you can feel it. I can still shape it and mold it, and
I'm gonna turn it this way so they can get a good look at her. She's beautiful.
I can shape it and mold it, and then this stove is inspired from that. Did that.
It's always interesting to see where inspiration comes from.
Correct. Correct.
It definitely is.
And it was a lesson in really understanding the form. And I try to express to my students, I'm always learning. So in doing that, I purchase books. I read a lot. In fact, this is where I get my information from. I go to the bookstore. And so I tested myself with my mom. You just saw the image of my mom in my other studio. This clay image, by the way, my mom died in 2019, March of 2019. She was 91 years old. I'm the youngest of 7 living. There was 12 of us. And I'm a first generation student, so I have a lot of inspiration for the rest of my family. I decided to do a bust of mom, which I would love to have bronze, but in doing this, I ran into some difficulties where it looks a lot like her mom. And I'm still playing with this, but I put it aside and I let some of the family look at it, and they see mom. I see her too, but I see my grandma more than anything. And just the design of it, so telling myself that if I can draw, I can paint, I can be able to sculpt. And I want to show this to my students. You have the capability too, but it all is about discipline and how you approach it.
It's true. It's true. Very neat. I love that. That's beautiful. Well, I see an amazing painting behind you of the city out here in the country.
That is one of my signature pieces. I feel like that's a signature piece. It was 2011 Times Square, New York City, Christmas. And first seat of a taxi during that busy time of the night. And I think we were coming from a Broadway show. Ella and I, we loved to travel, so we would go to New York or somewhere during the holidays with her sister and her husband. So
that's a fun piece, bright, colorful. It really is. And then underneath it is another sculpture.
Underneath it is another sculpture, which that was done this summer also. This is called 40 Acres and a Promise. It has a story behind it. It's the African American thing, you know, you promise this and you're going to be given that, but you have to work hard for everything. And I love to sculpt horses. I love horses, and I started with this piece. It started out as it was going to be 2 horses, and I was having a problem with the placement or how I was going to do the base. And not only that, I wanted to be mindful of the weight distribution and how to do that. So doing a lot of drawings, and I finally came to this solution, just a simple horse plow. Did my research. This is a Whitney plow, and it's they made about, I think, about 30 models of it back during that time. There's a 1870s plow. The male figure, here we go again, it resembles my father. My father was in World War I. When he came home, only jobs he could do was farm. And that's why we had so many, I have so many siblings, because back then they raised farms, and I came from the farm, and I couldn't wait to get away from that life, if you know what I mean. So just being mindful of where I come from, I decided to play around with that.
Well, then to paintings. This one, I know that we have this one on the Crossroads Art Center website, on your webpage, and it is hung on and off in the Art Center a lot, and it always just gets fabulous compliments.
This painting came from the backyard. Have a flower bed close to the house, and my wife Ella, she grows these beautiful flowers, which I'm taking care of during the spring and the summer. And the butterflies, believe it or not, they came from, I was at Luray Cabins, if I'm correct, the butterfly garden there, and I shoot a lot of reference that I never know when I'm going to need it. And just piecing things together, zooming in with the pansies and placing the butterflies strategically through that to keep the eye, you know, in the piece, was what I was trying to accomplish. So I'm glad it's working.
It does. It definitely does. And then you were talking about reference material.
Yes.
So show everybody on your computer screen, whichever one you want, the reference material for this guy. So let's talk about that.
Okay. The piece on my easel right now, there is a long story behind it. And in August of 2018, right during the weekend of the Charlottesville riots, I started painting this piece. But the background is true. The background for this image stems from an assignment with the United States Air Force when President Obama was in office. As a member of the Air Force Arts Program, I was on assignment to fly with the POTUS security team for the president. This was a week event where I got a chance to see the background of POTUS, and if I told you a lot of other things, I'd probably have to kill you, but we'll keep that secret.
That's right.
But during more peaceful times, I was flying around in this Huey and over the White House lawn, and I don't know why I started this painting, but I love the image, the aerial view of the Capitol from above. So I started the painting, and I really didn't know where it was going. This painting has taken me the last 4 years to do. Today I am going to officially sign it in front of Jenny. Whether you want to believe it or not, we did have an attack on our democracy, which to me is totally wrong. And I, as an artist, want to express my dislike with it and clear it up for the world to see. This is what happened. Now again, the scene, background scene is real. The foreground is made up from images that come from my imagination.
It's powerful.
Thank you.
It's very powerful.
I am going to sign this piece, and it's going to take a journey to the Society of Illustrators for their competition in October. I am working in acrylic, so I have to pull out the acrylic paint again because I had put things away.
I know the studio is so tidy, but you say you keep it this way, which is awesome.
I do. I prefer. I can't stand a junky space. It's hard for me to work in a junky space.
Yeah, me too.
I've been able to teach class here online with VCU, which has been a blessing. But again, I prefer as a teacher to be in person with the students because I feel like the student gets more out of that one-on-one or peer involvement.
I agree with that, and it sounds like with the test scores that have come back from the younger grades that is the truth.
Yeah, this is really something else. Alrighty.
And what is that tool that you are using? Because I think everybody will find that interesting. I've seen it used a lot.
I am using this, it's called just a balance stick or a maul stick. But what I wind up doing is just going to Michael's or something and buying this rod, and you can buy the dowel, and I put cloth over top of it, which probably needs to be cleaned, but it's to help stabilize and balance when you have those moments that trying to hold a brush steady. This piece is officially finished.
And thank you for letting us be here as you do that.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. And I hope it wins a prize.
Oh, well, for the Society of Illustrators, even if I don't win, just getting into the catalog and getting that recognition is more than I could ask for.
That's wonderful. Well,
and just keeping my work out there and keeping my name. This is what art is about. So I'm glad that God gave me that gift to do it, and keeps me young and keeps me out of trouble.
I don't know about out of trouble, but well, this is wonderful.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you can think of that you need to tell us, or knowledge you need to impart to us?
Let's see. I mentioned when I came in the studio, I'm still waiting word on this piece. I think I don't know whether you never had this in your gallery, right?
Wasn't this one the piece that was in the
Charlottesville?
The Black History show? Yeah, this is a beautiful piece. This got lots of attention when we had it down at the Black History Gala art opening down at the train station.
Well, I'm waiting. This may be going to a gallery out in Texas next month.
Nice. There's a lot to this. If you look at this, and hopefully Ron can get the different images from that, the different scenes that are happening in the different realms of this piece. I mean, it's about 30 combined together, and that's just me looking at it quickly. So, talking about a collage.
I did this piece based on, I guess it's how I felt about the African American, all the things that we've been doing. These people, to me, are the shoulders. I'm standing on their shoulders because they were the ones that did what they did in order for me to do this, when it all comes down to it. So I have that freedom, and I was experimenting with collage with the chains, of breaking those chains to be able to create and have that freedom to create what I wanted to and make a statement. But it's all based on God. It all comes from God's doing.
Amen. Amen. Well, you have so much that you have shared with me over the years that we have known each other. can't believe it's been 20 years since we opened up Crossroads, and we've known each other for probably almost that.
Almost that long.
Almost that.
I mean,
almost
yes.
that. And your generosity that you have with your knowledge and your teaching skills, and being able to eloquently put those in words and be able to tell us what you do and how you do it and where it comes from. So that is wonderful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, you're very much welcome.
Yay! So then we have to let you get back to work.
Yes, my next task is to put on my battle fatigues, and I'm going to break up this garden. I'm in this backyard. I love being out here and being married to my lovely wife, Ella. This is what I do.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. No, that is amazing.